Genesis chapter 14 verses 18 to 20. Melchizedek, with bread and wine, blessed Abram and God Most High. In those days Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine, and being a priest of God Most High, he blessed Abram with these words. Blessed be Abram by God Most High, the Creator of heaven and earth. And blessed be God Most High, who delivered your foes into your hand. Then Abram gave him a tenth of everything. One of the most mysterious people in the Bible is Melchizedek, the king of Salem. Salem is another name for Jerusalem. Melchizedek appears here and isn't mentioned again until Hebrews chapter 7 verse 3. He appeared and is mentioned once, on one day in the life of Abram, who will become known as Abraham. There is no evidence that Melchizedek and Abraham knew each other before this meeting, but they shared a common faith and need to worship God Most High, maker of heaven and earth. Melchizedek even reminds Abraham at a high point in his life, at a time he has acquired a great military victory and freed hostages, that Abraham was not to take the credit for God's victories when he says, "Blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." Ever wonder what the word tithe means? It is giving 1/10 of what you have to God in recognition that you would have nothing to give if it weren't for God's blessings. Even in some pagan religions, it was traditional to give 1/10 of your earnings to the gods. Tithing is a form of worship, a recognition of the gifts given and those to come. Abram refused to take any of the recovered goods from the king of Sodom. Even though this huge amount would considerably increase Abraham's wealth and increase what he could have given to God, he chose to reject it for more important reasons. He didn't want the ungodly king of Sodom to say, "I have made Abram rich." Instead, Abraham wanted him to say, "God has made Abraham, rich." If he had accepted the gifts from the king of Sodom, he would have focused everyone's attention on himself as victor or the king of Sodom, the giver, rather than on God, the true giver of the victory. When people look at us, they need to see what God has accomplished in our lives. Other important points in this reading are pointed out by St. Thomas Aquinas. The priesthood preceded the giving of the law. We can also see Melchizedek serving as a priest when he offered bread and wine, just as bread and wine are offered at the Last Supper of the New Testament.